All right, so in this exercise, you are going to um, create a double exposure effect by combining two layers using a layer mask. So in this file that I have given you, there are already two layers in it. So one was the background and the other one is the forest. Most of the time in this project, we are going to be only working on the forest file because that's where we are going to add our layer mask. So the layer mask is the rectangular box icon next to the FX icon in your layers panel. If you activate that, if you add a layer mask to the currently selected layer, it gives you this white rectangle um, next to the thumbnail of the layer. So while working on a layer mask, make sure that that is currently selected and not the picture, because if you click on the thumbnail of the picture, you are essentially um, you are affecting the picture and not the layer mask. So in the layer mask, you need to use the brush tool, activate it using the B key on your keyboard, and then you could toggle your foreground and background color between black and white, and sometimes you need it to be gray, but most of the time I would just use black or white and then change the opacity instead. All right, so if you paint black on your layer mask, you're essentially hiding parts of that picture that you are putting the mask on. So adjust your brush if needed. And if I were to paint at 100% opacity, I am completely hiding parts of this picture to show my background. All right. Now, if I am going to switch to white, I can show my currently selected layer back again. All right. Black to hide, white to show. All right. Now that I'm happy with this, I can slowly adjust my background by changing the opacity to at least 50%. That way, I could still see parts of my forest layer and adjust if needed. So, this tree belongs to the background layer, but I could still see some greens from my forest layer. And if you want to completely get rid of the greens in this section, you just go back to it, or you could simply adjust the opacity to 100% or 80%. And now you're showing the background instead of the forest. All right. Now, to have a smoother transition between your forest and your background layer, just simply change the opacity to less than 50. And then now you are showing your forest as well as your background. If you go back to the same spot and brush all over that same spot, eventually you'll reach the 100% opacity. And there you have it. That's how you use a layer mask. Continue um, blending these two layers so that you have a better transition. The key here is to blend so they look like they are part of the same picture. And there you have it. It went from forest to waterfall forest. And if you want to disable your layer mask, simply right click on the layer mask icon and disable it. And then you can see a preview of how it looks like.